of Mephisto farming. I did a couple of runs, you know, because I'll do that, dude. When I have a little bit of my own time, I'll just jump on a couple of runs. You know, usually nothing drops, but a head striker did drop, which to me that's such a cool. I know there's someone out there who just gets head strikers like every third run. You know, in the same way that this stuff I get every third run. But head striker to me is like sort of like is such a workhorse of the sword class of weapons, and to be brutally honest, like you can finish the game with head striker like pretty comfortably. You know, like once you get to high level, like that damage. Remember that damage is flat doubled. Because like as long as you don't build Deadly Strike on your build, like you don't put a Highlord's Wrath or something on your build, you know, you're not losing anything on the fact that it's 100%. You lose a little bit if you're playing a Barbarian because he has some natural Deadly Strike with his masteries, but you know, it's like 25% or something. You know, so you lose a little bit, but you know, it's not min-maxy, but it's fine. On a Paladin, hell yeah. You know, so this sword is doing like 80 to, you know, 360 something, 370 damage. Like, that compares very favorably. In fact, for like a, you know, I'm really thinking about putting it on my Berserker, because his whole point is like, you know, you just want to one-shot the elites, right? But then it's like, oh, okay, well then I need to, I don't know, I suppose put a Mara's on him, take the High Lord's Wrath off, gamble a rare Ami. You know, it could definitely work on him. I've got a Pulverin, I could upgrade it to an elite base right now. And if you upgrade that thing to an elite base, oh ho. It becomes, you know, absolutely monstrous. It and the Butcher's Pupil, I think, are the two best exceptionals to upgrade. There's some bows as well that are really good potential upgrades, like Gold Strike Arch, I think, is a really good one, mainly because it has huge IAS, like 50%. It's a decent ED roll with like extra damage versus demons and undead, and then it's just like 50% attack speed. Like huge IAS on that one. Obviously the Barisa, if you don't mind the stat investment of like upgrading it to a Colossus crossbow, is, you know. But then again, the Barisa is like, it's so kind of overbuilt that you don't even need to upgrade it. It's a beast of a bow. But a couple of things like I found out, so like that ward bow that I found that I was really disappointed with, I realized that like it's still disappointing. I think the damage is still crap for an elite bow, especially for something that's like, you know, you're not just going to get it from a pistol unless it's Terrazone. But the +3 it gives to guided arrow isn't Amazon only, so I don't know, it's maybe a potential endgame bow for a ranger paladin. Like if you genuinely wanted to go like full shockmaster, holy shock, ranger paladin. Yeah. It's kind of cool.
What do you need?
I don't know if the ranger's damage auras benefit from exploding arrows, because I know that like you would not use that bow on an enchant sorceress, for example. I mean, maybe for boss fighting actually, because like have it on weapon switch to kill bosses, because guided arrow never misses, so that's pretty freaking cool. So yeah, I thought it was very disappointing. Been through a bit of a character arc on that item. It actually has some like potential to throw on like some fun, weird build. I'm still super hyped about doing the Crippler, the Amazon, who just uses like Grip Hook and, you know, all open wounds, all slows target. It's kind of one of the reasons why I'm farming Mephisto, because there's a male called the Crowcore, which it hates to drop for me. Yeah, King Mail's all. But yeah, Crowcore hates to drop for me, but it's such a good mail. It's like open wounds, attack speed. It's no defensively, it's terrible. But to be honest, if I can't get that, it's not. I'm not going to cry about it, because I can always just use a hustle or something. Like the build that I'm looking at doing equipment-wise is like nothing. Like it's like she's not gonna have anything particularly like mind melting. Like she's gonna have Blackthorn's face. She's gonna have the Rip Hook. She's going to have Leglaws, probably. I could give her Tooth Row, which is like the big.
What do you need?
Open wounds armor, or even just like the normal, whatever it's called, bone something. The normal like field plate that gives you open wounds. But then again, I don't even need to stack open wounds that much. I could just give her a defensive armor. Or something with attack speed. Yeah, I could very happily just give her a Duriel Shell or something. But kind of the whole point of the character is that I want her to be very glass cannony, and I'm really curious to see how effective the raw CC on slow, because she's going to stack up like 70% slow's target. That's a neat little belt. Well, we got one. But yeah, super curious to see how the CC just works as a survival ability. And so the main thing that I'm kind of scared of with her is lightning enchantments and souls, stuff that like can kind of match you on the range game. Like archers are kind of scary as well. So I don't know, maybe just a sharp stop for the armor for a bit of physical damage boost. Like you've got some lightning absorb on Blackthorn's face, and maybe chuck a wisp projector or something on for more lightning absorb. Because she's never gonna get her resistances, the natural way. Because no shield. And even if I put a freaking smoke on her, like unless I put like smoke and Kira's Guardian or something, and then just fill her inventory with just fill her inventory with charms. I plan to fill her inventory with all the poison charms I can get. I don't only got a couple. But yeah, I love this idea of this like Amazon that just like sprays multi-shot around everywhere. Puts it absolutely crippling, like 70% slow on everything, and then just like waits, just chillax, wait for the open wounds to just slowly bleed them out. So like Blackthorn's face is a perfect item for that. Loop, because prevent monster heal. Will be really nice in terms of just like supporting the DOT.
What do you?
The slow, obviously, and lightning absorb is going to be like, key to surviving. So yeah, so I was thinking like maybe Wisp Projector, Blackthorn's face. It fits the whole crippling theme to have an Atmos Scarab on, and it also like it's kind of be necessary to deal with physical immunes. And I think Atmos Scarab is like best in slot for Boazon, to be completely honest, unless you're playing with a bow that has amp damage, like Witch Wild String, which I would recommend. Witch Wild String upgraded. I'm seriously thinking about upgrading the Rip Hook at some point, like if the damage starts to fall off. These are Tranks. Boys. What freaking gloves? These might honestly be better off on even on my Sorceress. These could be better than, is it Mage Fist? Man, you get some cool circlets in this. Like, this is just a cool helmet. Like, all res 17, 16 to dexterity, better block, huge chunk of attack rating, and +1 skills. Like, that is better than a law. No question. But it's not better than, you know, a Van Gaze or Rock Stopper or something. Maybe a Rock Stopper, maybe for a Hammer. But yeah, really cool item that.
I can't carry anymore.
Oh, don't be difficult, sorceress. Why do you have to be like this? So I found another one of these, made me cry because it's one socket, but I'm going to hold on to it just in case I get the whole set together. I don't think I will because the weapon is the hardest thing to find. So this was the head strike I found. I also found this wall and another ethereal edge. The ethereal edges don't really impress me these days. Get some rings. You know what? Like God roll dual leech ring for my upcoming Amazon. Be nice. But how about a game? Oh, bud. Huh? No? See, now that is kind of tempting because poison is a whole shtick. But she'll need leech. Your multi-shot takes 8 trillion energy. Anyway, not here to gamble rings, here to run Mephisto. Some cheeky runs for like an hour. Then I gotta get out of here and do some stuff. That shrine suggests that I haven't reset the instance, so let's just go ahead and do that now to be on the safe side. Ugh, resetting it in Act 3. Skill issue. Yeah, kind of tempted to try some MFing in the temples, those terror zones, with my barbarian. Very nice. Is she actually slowly leveling this character? I want to see if the bar moves. So she can I did some Mephisto runs just a few the other day off stream. That is...
I can't carry anymore.
Black Hades, which I used to hate this armor, and I kinda still do, because it's like, if you want sockets, just get a 4-socket armor. Like, nothing it does is so good that... Like, let me put it this way, if I want MF armor, like, I'll just use 4 sockets. Nothing on this is worth losing the extra toe
What do
pads,
you
as far as
need?
I'm concerned. But maybe, I mean, like... It's just, defense is just so bad. Like, 43% damage off weapon ED to demons is like, it's a little something. The attack rating is more meaningful if you were like boss running. Half freeze duration is pretty cool in like normal and nightmare. By hell, it's kind of disrespectful. And then yeah, so 3 open sockets. So the main thing going for that is tiny damage boost against bosses. Small attack rate boost. You know, not just bosses, but demons as well. Like, you can definitely do something with that armor, like even just putting 3 resistance roots in it and just getting a 9 resist armor. Why not just switch? Bassinet is Dark Side Helm, and that's IK. I really like this helm because it has Cannot Be Frozen. Big chunk of fire resist, it has mana leech, and it has some, like, that chance to cast dim vision is, like, that will save your life on many occasions, because anything that isn't like a champion or a unique just immediately kind of de-aggroes when it dim visions, or at the very least you can just run away. Like if you're being bullied by you know, those like extra fast venom lords in the Chaos Sanctuary, or the later bar wave, like if they're just like running you down and like whomping you as you like try to run, and then this just procs, like this is free escape. Cloak of Shadows is like situationally super strong when it comes to like fighting archers specifically. I always forget this thing has some MF, which is kind of cool. And then, yeah, you could like chuck another 2 topazes in it for even more MF, but it's like just gonna use Shaco. I don't know, maybe combine it with the gloves or something. I might have to mule one over to my barbarian because he uses the gloves and the belt, and just see how it like stacks up with them. I don't think it's going to compare to a Shaco, but it's worth a look.
My brothers have escaped you.
He's in a really awkward spot. He's not getting back. Good orb raiders there, but I still need an Ariat space. I've gotten one, and it was ethereal. I've gotten 2 legendary mallets.
What do you need?
Like uniques, both ethereal. Like genuinely heartbreaking. Like stuff that like, you know, like just like to see that like gold text on legendary mallet is just hype. Like it's pure dopamine. And then to pick it up and to find that it's freaking ethereal. Oh, I went through a whole character arc on that one. And the Ariat space didn't make me cry so much because I felt like, oh yeah, you know, I can chuck it on a, I think I can chuck it on an Act 5 Mercenary someday. I kind of wish we had some different weapon options for the mercenaries. Like, oh, a B-Star, that's cool. I mean, I've already got one, but it's still freaking cool. Like, when do you have enough of these just like decent elite weapons? The only thing is, like, you're not going to put on a mercenary or anything, so I don't know. Unless I make a, like, frenzy barbarian who uses clubs. Actually, to be completely honest, I've got a few elite clubs. Like, I've got Nord's Tenderizer and I think it's Demon Limb, the one that gives you, like, a really high level enchant charges. But yeah, I kind of wish the Frenzy Merc in Act 5 used axes.
I can't carry anymore.
This is Ariok's Needle, which... Good roll. I think it only goes up to 250 ED. And plus 4 to all skills, I think, is the best roll. Like, nice roll. But I think even with the 50% Deadly Strike... Like, I've tried this on my Mercenary. He was lower level then, admittedly, and everything your Mercenary does is so level dependent. I've got one of the same stats, so I'm not, like, chucking it away or anything. But I just don't need a... a spare. Like,
Greetings.
you know, there's a world where you keep all good spear, like, so, like, just this is just obedience. The highest rune you need is a Val rune, and this thing is so broken. And look at that, like, it's, compare it to that spear. The spear has 50% deadly strike, so half the time it's hitting for like just a flat double damage. This has 40% crushing blow. You know, this is going to keep you with like a level 20 enchant. This gives you hit recovery, which is really good. It doesn't have the IAS, I'll admit, but because it gives all res, it potentially opens your armor slot, especially at higher level, for like a hustle or something. So you can just go to town. But the Ariox Needle, like, it's one of those weapons that, like, all the affixes look good. Like, even poison. Like, when it's that much, it's nice. Prevents the healing, and it's just a kind of steady damage check. Deadly Strike is really good. Especially when it's a big battle like that. Now, maybe if that were real, it would be a really good weapon. I think part of the problem that makes stuff like that less exciting on a mercenary is like +4 to skills is big if you're like a,
What do you
God
need?
forbid, you're a Spirazon. You know, if you hate life and light and happiness, if you're committed to your personal suffering, if you are, you know, the greatest enemy of your own happiness, then yeah, the spear is on that. Maybe that's like an end game spear. Although I think there's probably still better, like the man catcher maybe just for the attack speed, or Stone Raven I think, which has crap mods, but it still has big pistol. Freaking split nail. I've seen rare russet armor and rare Balrog skin in those earlier runs that I was talking about. You know what? We'll be a little bit cheeky. We'll try to risk going with these potions. I don't want to move down to Jamela if I don't have to, because we're really on the clock here, and I want to squeeze as many runs as I can out of this. But yeah, I mean, if you're a Spirazon, is that spear? I mean, you can't have obedience if you're a Spirazon, so automatically that makes a lot of, you know, two-handed more valor. But yeah, like I was saying, +4 to skills when you have a full skill tree is quite nice. Because, you know, you're getting benefits on Frostburn and this. Oh, this is Fellow? No, Stout Nail. Okay. Really early game club. But, you know, when you're running around the Cold Plains and Fallen Shamans probably do, like, maybe 2 damage with their fireballs. Like, that magic damage reduced is not terrible. And yeah, the old Frosties. Remember when Frosties were considered, like, Frosties and Mage Fist were the GG endgame gloves. And back in those days, people like me, we actually like spec'd into energy and thought about like sustain, like not wanting to go back to town to get potions. And then LOD came out and we had to do Act 5 and we found out about the blood mana curse. So cool. But yeah, that curse is kind of cheeky because like it doesn't punish anyone who plays meta. You stack with vitality.
I can't.
That's some keys. We've got a really quietly chuck that one in the bin and don't talk about it. Good old Arctics. And level 2? Freaking level 2 gloves? And you won't be able to equip them at level 2 because of the 45 strength requirements, but...
What do you need?
20 life and 10 IAS. The Arctic set is really good. And it has some like really nice little... Like, for a long time, this sorceress was using the Arctic belt and Arctic armor. It's like, alright. It's just a decent chunk of resistances and a decent bit of MF. Like, that was what I started running Hell Mephisto with. It got me all the way through Nightmare, it got me through like the first month of Hell. We appreciate it.
Greetings.
But yeah, 2 head strikers now. Like 4 butcher's pupils. All the kind of like, you know, strong, you know, exceptional base weapons are starting to rain, but I still don't have a Witch Wild String. And I know the drop rate on Witch Wild String is a little bit better on Andariel. It's by a factor of like a few thousand. But the drop rates on everything, you know, it's like 8,000 to 1 or something. 2,000 to 1. Like reducing it by like, you know, 400 or something. I don't know. I don't think that means like, oh, well, just farm Andy until you get Witch Wild String. Like, A, farming Andy is slow by a considerable margin, so the drop rate being better could just literally be you know, a break-even situation. So you've got a slightly better drop rate, but you're running slower anyway. So yeah, I do not understand the hype for Andariel as a Loot Pinata. I think
Hail
it's
to you, champion.
crazy talk. Yeah, I just don't understand why anyone would do it. It makes no sense to me. Like, yeah, there's a world where you're in Hell and gearing for Hell, and you're not playing a sorceress who can just kind of skip most of Act 2 and Act 3 to get straight to Mephisto. So, alright, fair enough. In like a ladder or a solo self-bound situation where you're playing a really gear-dependent character. But then, I don't know, I still don't think you should waste time farming Andariel. Like, that's a really good mercenary weapon when you get it. I don't know. I know people do Andy for the jewelry drops, and I will admit, even the small number of Andy runs I've done, she has dropped more jewelry. But honestly, one of the best places I've had for jewelry was just Lower Kuras, killing the mobs. I've got 2 Maros, just killing mobs with Lower Kuras, and I've had unique rings, and I think a High Lords, just like all out of like logs and stuff. That's the... If we just teleport around and we start walking, it gives the mercenary like a big chance to heal up. My mercenary's still got blocked, but it happens every now. That's fine. One more level, and my mercenary will be like basically invincible to Mephisto unless he's Terra Zone.
What do you
And
need?
at that point, I could probably crank it up to like players 5. I think there's a very small increased chance of getting no drop of not getting no drops on players 5. There's a very, very, very low chance of getting no drops on players 3, which is what I run it on. I think that's the optimal setting. But players 8 just turns them into like a sponge. They take so long to die that, like, I can kill players 8 Fister quite safely with the sorceress because this guy totally snares them. Which, even if he dies, he doesn't always die. But even if he dies, they're slowed for so long that you just kind of dance around. It's very safe. But players 8 can just kind of turn around and one-shot you if you've got a lot of FF gear and not good resistances. So that's definitely a thing to factor in, especially on hardcore, which obviously this isn't. But yeah, I think players 3 is the sweet spot. I think that's kind of generally understood in this game. Like, people, like, no one's out here arguing about it, but I could be wrong. But of course, you know, I don't think it's something to argue about either. It's just like, oh, if someone else thinks players 8 is optimal, go for it. You know, my take is like, you have to do your runs in a way that keeps you doing your runs. Because, wow, another Life Magic. Oh no, this is the Skin of the late one? Yeah. Which is, it's a serviceable Merc armor if you're kind of hard up. It's got Life Leech. How good is that Replenish Life 21? Let's see. Let's just chuck that on. Whoa, that's actually, like, not terrible. That's like a pretty consistent tick. And it's a few life points at once. I was gonna say, I've been really curious about, like, stacking all these, like, really high Replenish Life items. On something like a Prayer Paladin. And just, like, see how tanky you become. I mean, your damage will be balked.
What do you need?
But it just makes me curious. Or maybe stacking with a Prayer Merc. Like, why would you have Prayer, I suppose? But, like, yeah. I usually look at that as a throwaway stat, but actually popping that on, that's not terrible. Like, if you stack a little bit of that, that's not that bad, especially when you're combining it with, like, other things that can go down to the body.
I can't carry anymore.
This is... But yeah, I've already got one of those things. This is Skull's Split, which I think I've definitely talked about it before, but it's one of my favorite items as far as the kind of theming on it goes. Like, it's this idea that, like, you know, it's got the open wounds and the hit blinds target, and it's just like, it's like you crack someone in the head with this nasty freaking pick, and now they're like stumbling around bleeding from this freaking hole in their head, but like they're also blind, so they can't help themselves and they can't do anything to you. You just kind of stand back and watch them die. It's like really cool theming. But yeah, having the dual head strikers definitely opens the door to using having like a really strong frenzy barb, but I think there are just better weapons than the frenzy barb that they like better. I think Head Striker is really good. Saigons and Eisengons. I like to pick up elite
Hail to you,
base
champion.
rare weapons every now and then. just to take a look at them. You never know, you could get some absolute god roll, like 300% ED, 40 IAS, 2 open sockets, like 40 max damage, 1000 to attack rating. Yes, please. Ethereal, so prepare. I don't even know if you can have that many affect
Thanks.
Is that the lens of some guy? Freaking Lance of Samya guy. And this thing is dead bit? Yeah, which is... I'd like to say that if you were level 44 and a throw barbarian, you'd be really happy to get this, but... I don't know. I think I have an Ethereal one in my stash somewhere, and the damage is still kind of... But...
Greetings.
I don't know, level 40 is kind of like mid-nightmare, I suppose. That would be fine. Like, I've seen people playing with way worse. And that 40% Deadly Strike with your Pro Mastery,
Thanks.
you know, is coming out at like 60-70%. Very cool. Always love to check rare gloves, rare boots. Like, I'm wearing rare boots right now. And these could be way better. Like, these could be closer to 40-40 on Cold Lightning. But I'm still pretty happy with them, considering a good chunk of what this sorceress does is Mephisto running. So it's just perfect dual res for Mephisto. But yeah, you could have, you know, 38, 39 Cold Lightning or 38, 39 Cold Fire. You could have, I think you can have 30 MF with rare boots. And then you could have 30 Run Walk. And that's just freaking gravy at that point. Like what are you going to replace that with as a caster? Yeah, melee is different because melee have like Goblin Toe and... The nice thing about like your Merc almost never dying is not having to, you know, scrounge for these big ticket items after every run, slowing your way down. And this is why leveling up is just so good. And I know it's not the items on my mercenary. Like, my mercenary has, I would say, good items. Nothing, like, game-breaking, but the Kelpie Snare is really good for bossing. But the Woe Stave, the not even exceptional halberd, is just as good, especially if you upgrade it to exceptional. And Vamp Gaze could be a Rock Stopper. Could even be, like, a Steel Skull. Even just be like a cloud helmet, Deadly Strike. smoke would probably see right just fine. Is this another Natalia's? Hey, this thing can have 3 sockets though, can't it? But still, an upgrade is an upgrade. What is it they say? Any hole is a goal. But I mean those holes, the socket holes. Oh god, I need some cube runes. But that's cool.
Greetings.
He still needs to drop me a 3-socket one if it is possible, but why am I walking up this way? You want to reset the instance and then TK straight from where you spawn in. 20 minutes left. This cheeky hour of Mephisto farming. Haven't really had much drop apart from that Natalia's. And there was the head striker I got before I started the stream. But I leave a lot of stuff on the floor at this point. So I kind of have a short list of things that I want now. Obviously jewelry. Yep. But I would like an Ariad Space. I'd like Javal's name would be nice. But that's not like on the list. But yeah, Ariad Space would be nice. A Skulders. Oh, my kingdom for a Skulders. I would love a freaking Skulders.
Hail to you, champion.
I'm already at the point where like I've farmed Mephisto so much and he seems to be holding out so much on the Skulders that like just for like my own sanity, I kind of want to put wealth rune word on my sorceress. Just like the difference in terms of what it actually does for you is imperceptibly irrelevant compared to the 4 topaz armor. But just on my gear screen for my own sanity, for my own comfort, it looks so much less like cobbled together. Also the extra rolls. So when you play on high player settings, the bosses control. Is that another V-Star? Man, the way this game drops is wild. Like, you cannot see one of those for like 2 weeks. This is such a good early game armor. Such a good early game armor. But stealth, like, it's better than stealth, but like stealth can be easily target farmed. Act 1 Countess.
Greetings.
But if you were just that lucky guy who that Hawkmail just dropped from Andario or something, like you could wear that through hell if you had to, just for the cannot be frozen is so strong for like a melee character. The run walk, I've talked about this before, but like early game run walk is so good because if you're playing the game, I always want to like avoid using words like properly because the proper way to play the game is to play that. So there is no problem. But let's say if you're playing in a way that's like really optimized, you're trying to make the best use of your time, then particularly on normal, when it's like really safe to do, you just kind of run through huge chunks of like Act 1, you kind of run through everything apart from like Den of Evil, maybe farm Rakadishu, maybe Tristram a couple of times, depending on like your gear setup, how spicy you're feeling. It was cool to see it. Oh, okay, and a really nice little charm at that. Like, it's kind of tough to replace these, like 17th Alive. I feel like obviously they're not like god tier endgame charms, the things I have on my sorcerers, but this is a cool charm. This one's definitely going to go. So these are charms for the cripple Amazon that I'm going to be doing one of these days. This one's not. This is just a guide for someone. But yeah, so like these little poison damage, you know, because I just want to do something that's like really super thematic, but that I also think can work. And I genuinely think enough raw slows target and a good amount of open wounds. You know, as long as you can sort your resistance to like your as long as you can make sure you don't just get like defeated by like one shot or something, sniper off screen by shells. Soul, sorry. Okay, cool drop. Gold wrap, and is that now or something? I don't think it's a good item. Yeah, gotta love gold wrap. Yeah, wolf howl. Kind of a terrible item to be completely honest, but it's one of those items they put in the game that's like it's just there to like enable some like janky off meta play thing where like, oh, I'm playing a barbarian but now I can like turn into a werewolf. I'm pretty sure I've already got one, but I don't know how it stacks up in terms of like the pluses, so I keep that. I don't know if I'm going to need another gold wrap, but I might as well keep it. The stash is kind of empty, so it's not going to hurt me.
Greetings.
But yeah, cool drop, but I still want a freaking Ariat. That said, I don't know. Ariat is like, is it really that great? Like, it's got all res, it's got plus skills, but what else does it have apart from like all res and plus skills? Like, I'm trying to remember. I haven't seen any of this, and I never used it back then. I was always like a advanced basic player. Hey, it's Arctics. I was just talking about how for this character, I went through like a good chunk of hell and even started farming Mephisto with just Arctic's belt, Arctic furs for that sweet, sweet, sweet 40 MF on the set combo, and you know, just a chunk of resistances. Nothing amazing, but something. Got me started. I still think it's a good combo, especially the other game. This so really tracking every day. There's only 30 mercenary rounds in like the last. We're coming up on the 50-minute mark now. The Merc, like, you just level your Merc. You know, like I was saying, like the mercenary has good gear, but to be honest, if you're level 90, you will have stuff like this, even if you've been brutally unlucky. Like I was saying, you know, you can use Woe Stave for the slows target, upgrade to exceptional if you have to. You can use Bloodhelm for leech. You can use Smoke for your resistances. And if you have those three things on a level 90 mercenary, you're doing Mephisto run, he will do just fine. Just fine. I've done, I found Woe Stave on Mephisto, and like without even upgrading it to exceptional, I've just like chucked it on my mercenary just to show that, you know, it does the job, and it does the job. Like, you can still die. You can die even with the vamp gaze. It's dropping me a lot of rare boots, which I like because I like rolling the dice on rares,
Greetings.
especially boots. Not those, but you know, pretty cool. And now we are coming up on Mark 10 minutes left. And then I'm gonna have to go do some like shit, touch some grass. Get stuff done. But it's nice to squeeze in this sometimes the game just gives you a drop that genuinely feels disrespectful. But, you know, you just gotta remember, it's about the number of things he drops, not what they are. Because the game, like, you know, the first step is to decide how much stuff is going to be dropped. And that's RNG within, you know, determined by the type of monster, the player's setting, blah, 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 blah. And then it rolls for what drops. And there's a bunch of rolls in that. So it's like, it drops a sword, like a short sword. This is a short sword. Gladius is a cut cutter. Then it's going to roll like set, rare, unique. Easy enough potions to go again without having to talk to Mela. But this is like how is Andaro going to compare to this? It just, I'm sorry. No. I wouldn't hesitate to say Andy runs it 3 times as long. And, like, maybe there's just a trick to doing her quick and smooth. But I find, one, she just kills mercenaries. Like, she just melts mercenaries, and there's nothing to do about it. If I put a lot of poison reduction, the physical damage just beats the brakes out. And when I say poison, I'm not talking about putting some trashy venom water on. I mean like putting Andario's Visage on, which is like a good item. It has Leech, it has IAS, it has plus skills. Terrible. You know, but chucking an Andario's Visage on, along with like the Jurial Shell, so you genuinely maxed out poison resist. Move. Mercenary still dies a lot. And also it means I have to keep a freaking Andario's Visage in my stash as like a gear spell for my mercenary. I hate doing that. I can keep the mercenary alive okay. Because I'm doing more Hydra Sorcerers. By just kind of dumping the Hydras and just continually teleporting away from me. Nice, rare Abby. Anyways, great. Long battle bow on the side. I'm sure you guys have seen that. I think the long battle bow is Ravenclaw. It's just like low level exploding arrow bow. And the scythe is, I don't know if I remember what it's called, but it's the scythe that has like, it's like 10 resist all or something. It's not a terrible weapon. It has some open wounds. You could definitely put it on an Act 3 Merc early and be fine. There's no point trying to do cow levels with the sorceress in hell. Like, players 8 nightmare cows, maybe? But I don't want to lose my maps. I've got a really good lower cuirass. I've got really smooth endurance. I haven't checked the ancient tunnels yet. Hopefully they're not too bad. Ancient tunnels, I don't mind how How about Arid's face?
I can't carry anymore.
How about this is just the base. Yeah. Still, early game, Act 3 Merc. Why not? You could do worse. 4-star
I can't carry anymore.
is Arcanus, isn't it? Yeah, I was thinking it might have. And back we go. 5 minutes left. I'm not holding out for 80 great drops in this last 5 minutes, but if I didn't think there was a chance, I would just pack it up right now and go do what I gotta do. You know, we're all playing on that chance. Just pumping the handle of the slot machine. Don't matter. None of this matters. Should probably grab some potions.
What do you need?
Oh, why am I pressing gamble? I was looking at things to put on my mercenary. The plan is to probably make him a hustle to go with the obedience, but that's only going to be relevant if I'm in like Lost City or something. Like, if we're doing Mephisto, he just kind of stays in the regardless now. But I think I probably risk being a hustle on him. It does have a little bit of identify this stuff. I don't think this. Actually, this is. Oh, this is Clip Killer. This is a really good bow. Like, just a big fat ED roll at plus skills. Like, come on. You find that at level 41? We're just gonna stomp your way through Nightmare. It's gonna be so fun, so clean. This thing, more for the charges, because it doesn't have any attack speed. And the ED is not great, but honestly, you can do something with this. And the rare, let's take a look at this rare. Nothing rare. Probably one more run, maybe two if I am quick. I was actually curious to watch the clock and see how long runs actually take, because I'm like, sometimes I run slower, sometimes I run faster, obviously, like anyone. But if I had a good idea of the average time, I could probably just look at my videos and like try to count roughly how many runs I run. Like, I will eventually go through this diary and do a kind of highlight. Mage Fist? Nice drop. Nice drop. Gotta love Mage Fist. You know, Fire Druid don't care about the cast rate, but still likes +1 fire skills. Even a Holy Fire Paladin probably like those +1 fire skills. Hell, even a Fire Arrow Amazon would like those +1 fire skills, although she can get them from magic globs, rare globs. But obviously, the Sorceress gonna love those fire skills. You know, even a freaking Necromancer can benefit from that. Like, Corpse Explosion is a fire skill. But yeah, obviously, mainly for the Sorceress, and really good gloves for the Sorceress. I don't think he got slowed, like, at all in that fight. We just ticked over to the hour mark. So, yeah, that's almost one run a minute.
Hail to you, champion.
But, oh, wow, that is a decent little ED roll. Almost 200% ED. Not bad, not bad. with some flat on weapon attack rating. There are elite unique weapons that I think are just worse than that in some ways. Like, okay, maybe not quite. If it were 250 ED with a little bit of IAS, then I would say it's just flat. Like, you can just go shopping for a cool sort of quickness, you know, which can roll up to 300% ED and 40 IAS. Don't get me wrong, you literally, like, suffer. It's a miserable grind, and you cry so many times to find a cool sort of quickness that's not in your face. And you really need the elite base. This is a cool item, I think. Also, I have kind of like another 10 minutes, so I can do a few more. This is a cool item. This is just like everything you want on a merc weapon. I just talked about how that replenished life is like, you know, it's better than you think it is, especially when you start to stack it. Like if you were to stack that with the replenished life on the skin of the, is it skin of the flayed one? The hard leather armor that had the life leech, like, not terrible. I just put a really bad enchant on him, but that's fine. I wonder if he benefits from the combat shrine. But yeah, this is such a, like, beautiful Druids map because we've got that shrine, like, right at the door. It's just clean, I can teleport straight through this, so I don't have to worry about aggroing the cancel or getting burst. It's happened once or twice, but for the most part, it's so clean. There's no baskets, there's no crap in the middle here. Because sometimes you'll get a bunch of, like, just junk in the middle here, chests and baskets and things like that, and it can lock Mephisto up. And it's always way more dangerous if he won't sort of come down to you. Because it's usually Bloodlords behind him. And even if there aren't, just like, you want a sort of open area where you have spacing and can deal with him and dodge his charge bolts and stuff if you need to. So fighting him up the top is just no bueno. And often I find that, like, when my runs are getting really scuffed, it's because I'm getting impatient and I'm not just giving him like a second or two to come down here. And it takes way longer to kind of bait him down here if there are obstructions around there. So that's one of those things that, like, you may not think about it. Like, you might think, oh, I've got a really good map here for Mephisto, like the endurance is like just by the door. Good old Civerbs. The number of times I've, like, cleared normal with Civerb's Cudgel, like, just such a dependable damage stick for clearing normal. I kind of prefer Clegg Laws if you throw the whole Clegg set on. And it's like, yeah, the shield is terrible. Loves it. But, man, you get crushing blow on like a level 4 set. Not that you really need crushing blow anymore. Come on. But the good thing about the Civerbs is the loot spirits are punishing me for going over an hour.
Greetings.
Because I said I was going to go do, like, productive human things and touch grass and stuff. And they're like, well, go touch grass. Go on. Get out of here. We got nothing for you. It's beautiful and sunny out there. And the grass is green. I'm not actually just going to use touch of happy. I have to do things I don't really want to do. But I will touch a bit of grass. And enjoy that sunshine. But I said I could do it, I could easily do it in 2 minutes. I just feel like I'm running pretty hard at the moment, like I'm doing this fairly quick. The map is doing me a lot of favors here, like I said. Hey, nice drop. Oh, is this another Natalia's? Come on, 3 seconds. Come on, come on. Oh no, it's Swan and okay, Swan and oh, Colwyn's Point for level 29 when you can get a freaking blood letter. Come on, terrible. This is Atlas Whale, which like triple the amount of MF that armor gives you, and maybe we can talk about it. But 20% is just disrespectful. And any early game bow with piercing attack is potentially very nice. Cool drop. Always nice to see a big stack of golds.
What do you...
But yeah, the Atmos Whale, it just, like, hit recovery is good. I really like hit recovery, but it's one of those things that, like, you rarely have space for it in your gearing. Like, you're not going to be like, oh, okay, well, you know, I'm going to use this helm so I have hit recovery, but, like, sacrifice, I don't know, resistances or plus skills or something. It's too important. But, man, it's nice to have. Like, you just kind of get it for free. And if that were just kind of like, you know, a Scalders for a melee fighter, like even if the momentum were just worse, I could respect it. Like, you know, if you think about it, if like, okay, we got a nice set drop. Griswolds, I think. Yeah, I love how the Paladin armor doesn't have variable sockets, but like, fuck everyone who isn't a Paladin, right? Like, if you're a druid, if you're a you know, assassin, like, sorry, you're just gonna have to find, like, maybe 15 of the items that you want to get one with a good number of sockets. Sorry. To hell with this is your punishment for not being a paladin. Like, so, it's so brutal how much stuff in this game. Like, oh, you wanted to wear a spirit shield in Nightmare? Sorry, you're not a paladin. Get fucked. Oh, you want free resistances on your shield in addition to, like, rune word resistances like Rhyme or Ancient Pledge? Sorry, you're not a paladin. Get fucked. Oh, do you want to just use any melee weapon without being punished for it because you have a stupid mastery system that forcibly locks you into only using a single weapon type? Sorry, you're not a paladin. Get fucked. Like, the paladin is so broken. But I will say, if you just play a Zeal Paladin, you know, with like accessible items, there's Sanders and that's Rock Fleece, which is a cool mercenary armor. The thing is, like, anything for a mercenary early game, or even not even early game, but like until your mercenary is really high level and has a lot of just like passive resistance built up, pretty much everything on your mercenary has to give resistances. Like, you need resistances, you need leech, and you need damage to leech off. And then it's like, if you can get on top of that, then it would be really nice to like have maybe some crushing blow, maybe some open wounds, maybe some source target. But you know, you kind of need those three things base. Though, if you're doing boss rounds, like the pistol, the leech is not mandatory. Because you're going to be using a weapon, ideally, you're going to be using a weapon like Kelpie Snare or Blow Stave that has a lot of slow. Disrespectful drop, and we really are coming up on the 10-minute mark here, so it'll be one more run, and you know, whatever he drops, he drops. If he dies, he dies. But yeah, man, the number of ways this game just like kicks sand in your eye for not playing a paladin is just... But look, it kicks sand in your eye for not playing a sorceress even like, oh, you want to teleport without having to, you know, sacrifice a gear slot for it and grind for the rest to like a week for the runes? Sorry, get fucked, you should have played a sorceress. You want easy access to... That's heaven something? Alright, we're gonna do one more. One more. I'm gonna see if I've got enough potions to just cheekily squeeze in one more without going too Jamela. Like, oh, you want to actually be able to like run Mephisto or God forbid Andario and do it quickly. Too bad. Play the sorceress. You want to be able to like run lower Kuras at all with any kind of efficiency. Too bad. Should have played the sorceress. Sorceress was spoiled, and we just kind of take it for granted because we all have one. And a huge part of okay, this is a cool drops. The Manga Breezer, which decent MF roll. I think it can go up to 60%. That's a really cool item to me. And this one is fire resistance shield. I think I can go like another 5 minutes.
Greetings.
I would like to get at least just one thing that's not kind of me just like copium saying, ooh, it's a good drop. Ooh. But you can't force it. I don't know why I'm enchanting without having Oculus out, but gear check if anyone's interested. I know there are a couple of people watching. It's just basic. It has Oculus, Rhyme Shield. I think I showed the red ones on that film. Just like walk. Walk. Stop casting spells and walk. There was it. Alibaba and Rhyme on Switch. That's a Rattle Cage, which is a cool item. But funny little charm.
What do you
Didn't even
need?
know charms could get both min and max damage. Shows what I know. I've had some beautiful drops from it. Like, it's so weird how, like, just the way pure RNG works is, like, sometimes an item will drop, like, you know, you get 30 drops of it in a week and then never see it again, you know? Or you'll just have, like, a day where, like, 3 Shakos drop. This is Shako Day. I had a day where 2 Phase Blades dropped. And another day where, like, the first Phase Blade that dropped on this was Azure Wrath. So, like, can't complain. And then I've had 2 lightsabers. And the 2 lightsabers dropped within, like, an hour of each other. It was crazy. I've had so many of the elite, the unique, the Ogreax, the Bone Hue, but now the drops on them have just dropped off. I used to get loads of the Aryax Needle, the Elite Spear. Now it's kind of dropped off on them a little bit. Like, there are elites that are just like, you know, I've kind of got like a couple of them sitting in the stash. In case I need them someday. And then there are just exceptional items that I can't get in the drop. I cannot get this guy to drop the spell ones. I found like 3 times as many Shakos as I found Tarnhelms, which is probably because I'm doing Hell Mephisto. I don't think Hell Mephisto has a really, like, I think you're about even on the drop chance of like Tarnhelm versus Shako on Hell. I found one Tarnhelm going back to Nightmare to like target farming it, because at that time I couldn't get a Shako to drop, and I was like, oh well, if I can't get a Shako, maybe I'll see if I can get a Tani. And I did a couple hours of runs, he dropped one, it was a really bad MF roll, wasn't worth replacing the 3 Topaz hat. And then it was like, as soon as I got my first Shako, which was a Ethereal, but was like, I don't know, like the Shaco button had been pressed, and suddenly I could have Shakos. And, you know, we just got all the Shakos. Like, I would kind of be, like, very, very slightly, like, annoyed if he dropped a Shaco now. Because, like, you can't be angry with a Shaco, but at the same time, like, oh man, it would kind of make me angry. Because I genuinely have, like, 3 Shakos in my stash, and an Ethereal Shaco on a Mercenary. Like, you know, I got Shakos for days, man. I guess you just gotta Shaco it off. The item that... It's the Lance of some Yagai. That's the new era of, like, items that make me mold. It doesn't make me mold, but, like, I just kind of, like, side-eye every time I fucking see it. But back when I used to play this, when I was young and beautiful, God, 20 years ago now, Horizon's the best. But back when I used to play this, when I was young and beautiful, now this has, like, some run potential to me. But I've got one sitting in my stash, so I'll talk about that without holding on to it. And we're coming up on the 20-minute mark. I did say 5 minutes, but alright. 20 minutes. I prefer walking around sunset anyway. It's so beautiful. Like, if you can, if you have the privilege in your life, always go out at sunset. Oh, if you're an early bird, do it at sunrise. I prefer sunset. Like, normally I like to ID rare belts because you can potentially get some really great drops, but alright, we got enough potions. We just quickly cruise into another. We got 3 viewers, so I might just do a very quick gear check. Oh yeah, this drop. Last time I was farming Mephisto, he dropped this and a Verdungos in the same drop. It was such a pog drop. I was so chuffed about it. Because, like, when are you ever going to replace that? The SOJ was a huge drop. I was so chuffed by that. I actually had other rare boots that were really good, better than this. They were almost 40 res. And then I accidentally sold them, but then I found these. I do have a Mara's that I could be wearing instead of that, but, you know, pretty standard stuff. I've got this Oculus. I did put a perfect cold fast in it that I found. All this stuff, just Mephisto, just grinding Mephisto, starting off on Nightmare, moving up to Hell. Like, Nightmare Mephisto is a really good loot pinata. Like, there's so much good stuff Nightmare Mephisto can drop. Like, Nightmare Mephisto can gear your Mercenary for Hell so well. Like, he can drop Dual Shell, he can drop the Golden Snare, he can drop a bunch of, like, really good, exceptional polearms. You know, he can drop pretty much everything for your Sorceress. I think he can drop Viper Magi, I'm not 100% sure. That's that same thing the Langer Resource is. So I really like the Langer Breezer. I think it's like, the damage is kind of just good enough that you could use it as an MF weapon on a like a switch on a Bozon if you were hard up. And the open wounds, you know, like, get the boss low and then switch to the Langer Breezer and throw some tracking arrows at them. And it'll tick them down. Not that you really want to be farming a boss with a Bozon, but, you know, the option is there. Or even farming an area, like a Terror Zone or something. Yeah, the damage will be low. You could always potentially upgrade it to Elite. It does have up to 200 ED roll. Every time I see Splint Mail, I want to cry because I want to Skulders. I found a freaking Arcane's Valor before I found a Skulders. That don't make no sense. The drop rate on that bad boy is extremely low on Helm Mephisto. And it wasn't Terra Zoned either. I didn't even know he could drop one. That was one of my holy grails from back in the day. And it was +1 skill, so I ended up crying about it. Because any item that can have, variable skills, if it has a low roll, it just automatically feels disgusting. But still, maybe I try to do it. We are at the 20-minute mark. But just gonna do one more. Can't end on a drop like that. Not like this. This little shrine in the door, like, is such a good Druid's map. And then this like nice clean arena. Jerk. What is that? Is that Blood Raven's charge? It is. I've got one. As far as I know, this is just not a good bow. Like, that Cliff Killer or something, or whatever it was I was looking at, did about the same damage. This is probably faster attacking. It does have fires explosive arrows, but I mean, huge bonus to attack rating, which is nice. I don't know. I don't know how that stacks up compared to the one I already have, so I'll chuck it in. Hey, it's an elite drop to finish up.
Hail to you, champion.
But maybe we'll just go to the 25-minute mark. The sun is actually setting out there. I did want to get some, like, proper, like, sun on my body out there. That would have been nice, but... Oh, that's right. Killed my freaking mercenary. It's so addictive. And it's almost more addictive when he's not dropping what you want. And it's one of those, like, really frustrating things where it's like the more you have, the less you want. So, like, the game has been doing this to me. It's dropped some really cool stuff for me, but, like, man. Imagine if there was, like, a pin shop in Diablo. I think this would really get me. They would have to readjust all the weapons. But imagine if there was, like, a pity vendor where, like, I don't know, you could trade 5 uniques of the same, like, trade like 5 items of the same rarity for like any item of the same rarity or something like that. Some kind of pity, like genuine pity system.
What do you need?
Where it's like, the only thing is like, it would have to be more than 5, at least for some things. Because if you could just trade like 5 Nagels or 3 Nagels and 2 Manals for a Bull Kathos or something, then it, okay, but that just is insanity. Or trade 5, like maybe the eye level has to be comparable. Like there would have to be some system of pricing where like you sell an item and based on like the eye level and the rarity, you get a certain amount of resources. And then you can like use those resources to buy other items. Maybe something like that could be viable. But then that also kind of ruins some of the specialness of the game. That's a pretty cool drop with a shred. I've had a bunch of them come off Mephisto. But it's definitely it's an axe you can very comfortably clear hell with on a throw barb. Huge huge amount of elemental damage. Like, usually elemental damage is kind of like meaningless, especially in hell, because everything has so much resistances. But when you're getting like that much, this is actually my last run. I said I was going to do 1 hour. I've come to 1 hour 25, which is fine. I'm not like neglecting anything, of course, aside from self-care. And I don't know that I can like mentally end on that drop. I just don't know. He just has to give me something. I don't care what it is. Give me a Lancer Sumya guy. But as I was saying, the thing that used to make me more back in the day when I was young and beautiful, was Radament's Sphere. Just thinking about it makes me like salty. The game used to troll me with Radament's Sphere, and you know, I just got to a point where I couldn't like emotionally cope with it anymore. I was like, you will never drop Radament's Sphere to me again. I fucking uninstall. I would uninstall the game and then like reinstall it 3 days later. Come rolling back. No. Oh wait, it's not charming. Wow. Alright. Come on. Even a Radamant Sphere, even a Lancer Summoner guy, I don't care. I just want to see some gold. And then I can go outside. I actually want to go outside. I have a lot of energy. I want to go for a walk.
Greetings.
And stare at the sunset. Instead, I'm in here talking to people that probably, if there is anyone watching, they are probably grinding Mephisto or something themselves. Because that's what I do. I'll put on someone doing some really grindy, like solo self-ban or Shaman run or something in the background. I'm grinding. The runs themselves, they're clean as. Like it's so clean, it's so nice, so smooth. Mavinas or IK? Mavinas. I like to see IKs because IKs have some like really cool.
Hail to you, champion.
Like the IK gloves, IK belt combo is just really hard to beat on a melee character because melee characters always need stats just to equip items. Just having 40 extra stat points in strength is like having 40 extra stat points in vitality while also getting the benefits of the strength, which is, strength does give you enhanced damage. It's kind of trivial, but when it's 40 points, it is kind of, you will notice it a little bit. I've kind of gone over the limit. I said that it was like last run, but I just, he struck me. Come on. Okay, what is this? I don't think I've actually had this drop before. I have had this drop. This is the Feeded Sprinkler, which is a cool item. And it doesn't drop like candy, but no, that does not satisfy me. I can actually go to the 2-hour mark if I have to, but I don't want to. We're still under the hour-and-a-half mark. I can squeeze one cheeky Wow, I'm in a really weird spot for frozen. You know what? That's the drop. I can live with that. I've got a bunch of these. They're not great, but a Crush Lance is always nice to see. I think that's a Dusty. These are like all good items. This is a great item. This is really great on an Act 5 mercenary. Like, put 2 of these on your Merc, and he he's just a open wounds dispenser, frenzying around like a lunatic with a huge leech, and then that just means like you can put a hustle on his body armor for even more leech and dodge. Not even more leech, even more attack speed. And crush flange, always nice to see. Like, oh, what is this? Ethereal Dust Heap. Dust Heap is such a good helmet. Like, all res 15, damage reduced by 7, plus 8 to max damage. Like, in Hell you don't notice that, but in normal, plus 8 is significant. And, wow, actually some, like, half-decent little dual res boots with hit recovery. If only they had some run walk. I thought that said breast nails. But yeah, nothing here worth, taking back to the cave, but you know what? I said I wanted him to drop something good, and that's where I would end it, and I'm going to have to do that, because that was a nice drop. That was a 3 unit drop, and it's
What do you need?
2 things you love to see. Elite unique weapons. If that had been ethereal, that sword, ooh, that would have been nice. I really want an ethereal one of them for a barbarian mercenary. But yeah, not a terrible run. I mean, factoring in this morning, and then we got this and we got this. This thing, I just think this is bad, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's still cool to see. Oh yeah, we got this neat little charm, which I was pretty chuffed with. Yeah, all in all, decent little set of runs. Not terrible at all. I'm mostly happy with just how smooth it's getting, how good like the muscle memory is getting, and how quick the runs are going, and how little the mercenary is dying, and that's only going to get better. You know, we're halfway to another level, and by another level, like I said, I'll probably be able to put this on Players 5. For that, I'm going to take off. Gotta go touch grass. Gotta go see the sun. Do those normal